What's going on, everybody? Hope you had a blessed up Sunday. I plan on coming on here sooner. However, after church, I got back and the fire alarm went off inside of the building. So I was like, this is happening. So welcome if you're joining me late. I know it's a late one, but today I really wanted to share a message on malpractice. And what's going on, James, Christine, Matias. So hope you guys had a great day today, a great weekend. You're ready and recharged for tomorrow. So I'm going to share a story on malpractice because I was thinking about it. I was like, what is the message that I feel like I need to share? And I've been reaching out to a few of you and just saying, like, if you need anything, just let me know. If you are having something heavy in your heart, heavy in your mind, if you're struggling with something you feel challenged, like, please know. Let me be that resource for you, or at least to pour life into you, speak life into you in this session. So let's do this. Okay, malpractice. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this story because I feel like we remember things and create the impact based on stories. So about a year ago from today, I went to the dentist and I was searching for the right dentist, somebody that I knew I could have a really strong part of my lineup. Even in people that are whether my dentistry or whatever I'm looking for. And this guy I had really sought out was a third dentist that I had found when I was scouting out like the right dentist. And the reason why I'm going to tell you this, so I went to a few dentists as having discomfort in my mouth, and I had two dentists say I needed a root canal. And that same week, as I was, looking into getting a root canal, I had two clients that were in holistic treatment centers, and they're like, Tanya, do not get a root canal because the root canals are going to lead you to a longer path of possibly getting breast cancer. And we don't realize, like, when we get certain things done, they impact us maybe 5-10 years down the road. And people go to these centers and then they realize like they have to get them pulled and get an implant done and all this stuff. And they're very painful. So I was like, okay, I got a reference. I ended up finding this guy in Miami, amazing dentist. He has certifications in heart math, and he does his own personal growth and development work, and just so cool and such a blessing to be around people that actually pour into themselves, especially in that area where you feel so vulnerable. And so I go to him and I went and he's like, you don't need a root canal. And this is a year later. He's like, you don't need a root canal. You actually need to get all that metal pulled out of your mouth because the toxicity is going to impact you a few years down the road. You're already starting to feel it now. So we need to remove all the metal out of your mouth. And I was like, okay, let's do this. So I scheduled an appointment. And I want to point out two core messages in today's live stream. One of them is that choose to make the decision, even in the moment, if it's going to create pain, to do something good for your future self. So this is something where I was being proactive. I knew that it was going to create pain in the moment to get all the metal pulled out of my mouth to prevent suffering, because there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is real. We feel it. You stub your toe. You're like, that hurt. I stubbed my toe. Suffering is dragging something out for way longer than what needs to happen. Maybe you're unhealthy right now and nothing bad has happened to you yet, but if you keep adding to this, eventually something will, maybe diabetes or a heart, something with your heart. And so if because if we take that honest inventory, we know that eventually if we don't take proactive measures, something bad is going to happen to us for the future. So choose to do something good for yourself now for your future self. And I made that decision, and as I'm sitting in the dentist chair, I'm sitting in the dentist chair and getting ready to get all this metal pulled out of my mouth, and they end up, I start having anxiety. So when I'm having anxiety, I'm like, okay, let me pull my tool. So I start doing some EFT work, and I'm tapping. I don't know if you've heard of EFT, but it's tapping and you're able to regulate the nervous system. So I start tapping and, trying to regulate and calm my nervous system. And then they clench my mouth with these metal pieces to keep my mouth open because it's a surgery to pull the metal out of my mouth. And I'm going to be there for like an hour. And the nurses, they do that. They do the shots. they put the shots inside of my mouth, and then they put this mask on my nose, and my mouth is clenched open. And then they put this sheet over my mouth because when they're doing the drills, they don't want the metal to prevention, so you're not inhaling it or it's getting your mouth. I have a full blown panic attack, and my mouth is clenched with metal on it. I can't breathe. I literally, in my mind, convinced myself that I was going to die. I convinced myself in that moment that I was going to die. And then, so I'm having a panic attack, and the doctor comes by, and he just gently touches my shoulder, and he's humming, and he's super calm. And he's like, so I heard that you don't want to, I was like, take it off. I'm having a panic attack. And I'm telling him get off. And then he's like, listen. He goes, listen, I understand you're scared right now. And I'm starting to cry a little bit. I'm so scared. I literally convinced him, I'm going to die. And he's like, but I want you to know, he's like, we can not proceed, but I want you to know you came here for a reason, and you can do this. And in that moment, I realized wow, my nervous system calmed down. He's like, so we can do this. And then I was like, okay. And we compromised. I was able to keep the thing open, proceeded with the surgery, got all the metal pulled out of my mouth. And the point of this, so today's message was really about malpractice. And so the point of this is what I'm saying is that if my dentist wasn't operating in a calm state of energy, confident, collected, I know he takes care of himself. He's super healthy. We've had conversation. We shared certain books. He's got all these holistic books in his office. He has certifications in heart math. So it's not just taking care of him working out, but he takes care of his spirit. He takes care of his emotions. He takes care of his mental side. And in that moment, I was peace just waved over my body, and I knew that I was safe in such a vulnerable moment. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, I wonder if more people took care of themselves, and knowing that they have to be mentally sharp. They have to be prepared for practically anything in that moment. People are so in different emotional states because you're in such a vulnerable space at that time, that you really have to be fully present. And when you're in whatever job you've taken on or position you've taken on, if you're not mentally equipped, emotionally stable, physically healthy, you can do some pretty intense damage on people, if we're not fully there. And think about a time where maybe you messed up on something. How well were you taking care of yourself? Not just physically, but I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This is the work behind the work, and it's our responsibility when we are in our workforce, when we are at our jobs, when we are with our families, that we're able to be fully present because we knew what we had to do to take care of ourselves so that we can pour into the people that need us the most. And it's nobody's responsibility or job to do that but yours. And so in that moment, I was like, wow, I literally had all these insights, deep insights based on that experience of how grateful I was to find people to be a part of my lineup that I knew and I know take care of themselves, so that when I'm in a vulnerable space and I'm weak and I'm vulnerable, that I know I'm taken care of. And I want to ask you this question. I'm about to go fuel up I went to church tonight, so I fueled up my spirit. I'm going to go have a little bit of fun. I'm going to go salsa dancing right after this. We had the fire alarm go off, so I'm on a little bit late tonight. But I'm going to leave you with this question. I want you to really process it and answer it honestly. But are you fully taking care of yourself, where you're responsible enough to be able to then take care of other people. Because I believe that a lot of malpractice can be prevented if every single human being took personal responsibility in operating at the highest expression of themselves. And so, what I want you to think of today is how else can I pour into my cup into becoming a better version of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually so that I can be better for everything and everyone that I show up for in my life and in my day. So I hope you carry this on with you for this week. Just let you guys know that I love you and I appreciate you. And if you need anything, if you're challenged with anything, whether it being accountability or support to equip you and to prepare you for whatever it is that life, throws at you so that you're operating at peak performance, please reach out. We can do a strategy call. And I also have that free accountability calendar, which is www.tanyacoliver.com/calendar that you can get. And then that strategy call I'm also giving to you guys as well. And just remember, asking for support and asking for help is a strength. Okay, it's a strength, and the world really, really needs you. Oh, good! I'm so happy. I was really praying on what message I could serve you guys with. So, sending you love. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in tonight. And go get some rest. Go take care of yourself. I'm gonna go salsa dancing. I'll share it with you in my stories. And yeah, so if you're watching the replay, drop your comment below and let me know how today's message served you, and send me a message on topics you would like covered, because that really helps me out a lot. All right, you guys, get some rest. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for putting your comment in there too. All right, bye, you guys. Bye.